If you've been out on the Delta, you've seen the abandoned boats. Some of them sunk to the bottom, some of them floating down the river, some of them simply left on the side of a levee road to sit there and rot. These boats are not only eyesores, they are environmental problems, and they can be navigational hazards. Today, I'll be speaking with Officer Joe Silva from the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Department. Officer Silva will be talking about two programs that are in place right now. One program is helping to remove these boats from the river, and the second program is helping to keep boats that may wind up on the river out of the river. I know this is not a fishing video, but it is a very important video, so please watch carefully and make sure you spread the word about these two very important programs. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to get into the video right now. I'm with Officer Joe Silva from the Sheriff's Department. Joe, thanks for coming aboard today.
Thanks for having me.
Actually, I'm on board on your vessel today, but you know, you've got a couple of programs to tell us what's going on out here and what you guys are doing, you know, for the river and for folks that may have a problem with a boat that they need to get rid of. So can you let us know what these programs are about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start off with the Surrendered Abandoned Vessel Exchange, also known as the AWAF. So what that allows us to do, we partner with the Department of Boating Waterways, and we get a grant through them. It allows us to remove unwanted boats that are out on the waterways. So you might be out there fishing or whatever else, recreating on the water, and you see these boats that are half sunk. They look like they're dilapidated. You're like, hey, what's going on with that boat? Well, more times than not, we're aware of that vessel, and that vessel's on a list to be removed. So unfortunately, it does take some time to remove those. Again, it comes down to grant funding that we get through Department of Boating Waterways. But once that becomes established on the list, we work with a contract salvager and they remove them. And again, that can be very costly. Now, the proactive approach to that program is the Vessel Turn-In Program, also known as the VTIP. So what that allows is a boat owner that doesn't want a boat, they're like, hey, this boat is run down, it's maybe got an engine that's blown out, and it's going to cost you way too much money to repair. That's where the Vessel Turn-In Program comes in, and that's when you reach out to your local Sheriff's Department. Obviously, San Joaquin County has a program, VTIP. You can go on Department of Boating Waterways, and there's a whole list of agencies that participate in that program. I'll tell you right now, San Joaquin County definitely participates in that program.
And I will put all that information up in the remarks for the video, so that they, if they need that number, they'll have it and they'll know who to call. And I also want to say, I'll tell a little story when you get done there.
Yeah.
I found this out because I actually found that I had a boat, an abandoned boat that my father owned, that it is now my responsibility to take care of, and I'm using this program as we speak. I'm going to be turning in that boat next Tuesday. And you know, when you look at what it costs to abandon a boat or to bring a boat to salvage, it's extremely expensive. You might also talk about the cost, which is zero in most cases, or it's very minimal for this program, and you guys take care of the boat. And I was super impressed when I heard about what you guys were doing, because, you know, I kind of think that I'm a person that has a moral responsibility. I would not dump that boat on the bank somewhere or bring it out and shove it off into the water. But I know a lot of these boats, that's exactly what happens. I mean, I go out to Paradise Point, and I don't know how many boats I've seen pushed off the trailer on the side of the road, which, you know, become an eyesore, or just, you know, taken down in the water, pushed off the trailer and abandoned. So talk a little bit about what it costs and how a person would go about using this vessel. What is it called again?
Vessel Turn-In Program.
Vessel Turn-In Program. Just kind of go through how a person would use that program.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you had an unwanted vessel, you would contact the Sheriff's Office. The phone number is 209-953-8845. Gives you a direct line to our boathouse. At that point, you'll come in contact with a boating deputy. At that point, that deputy will schedule an appointment. If you truly have an unwanted vessel, sometimes guys just are looking for information. So we'll tell them all about the program. So once you determine, hey, I want to get rid of this boat, these are the reasons why, we establish an appointment. At that point, we'll go out to your place. We make sure all the hazmat, that's oils, gases, have been removed. You have to be the registered owner to apply for this program. Or in your case, like your father, so you would have to provide documentation that your father was the owner. So whether it be, you know, a death certificate or something like this.
I had to bring in a pink slip and a death certificate showing that I am the conservator of the property. But that's it.
So once we establish that you're the registered owner, all the hazmat has been removed, then we'll schedule an appointment at a local landfill. We usually use North County Recycling Center here in Lodi, and then what will happen is we'll meet you at the landfill. The cost to you is free. It cost us just under $100 with a boat without a trailer. Boat with a trailer is just over $100. So back to your question, or back to what you were asking on pricing, so a VTIP is very cost effective compared to the AWAF, the Abandoned Watercraft Abatement Fund. So once you get into that, we're talking thousands of dollars. A boat this size, this could be $10,000. If it sinks, there's a lot of hazmat on it. Our contract salvager, again, has to now dive, has to have a crew that goes down. It gets very costly. So that we're talking thousands over hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and the bottom line is it's not environmentally friendly, and it's an eyesore. Nobody likes seeing these boats out here, so it's a win-win situation. If we can keep boats from being dumped in there with the surrender program, there's going to be fewer boats, out there for us to deal with as navigational hazards, so on and so forth. So it's a great program, guys. I want you guys to be aware of it. If you know someone that may have a boat, and in my case, I could not donate the boat to a charity, and we talked about that. Officer Silva and I were talking about, I wanted to donate the boat, but it wasn't feasible for a charity to take it because it would have cost too much to restore the boat. And at that point, everyone thinks, well, I'll just give it to the Salvation Army, or I'll give it to one of these programs, and they can't always take that boat because it is extremely costly to salvage a boat. So for me, this program was really fortunate that I found it, and I'm really impressed with the way the whole scenario is played out. And like I say, next Tuesday I will be going down to the dumps and surrendering a boat. So if that's it, man, that we'll get the word out. And thanks so much for giving that information. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
First off, I'll start with you, Steve. Thank you very much for doing the right thing. That's the right thing to do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we come across these boats, like you mentioned. They're dumped on the side of the roadway, they're dumped out here in the waterway, and then the boaters, the community out here on the water, they got to deal with that. Number one, the eyesore, number one, the navigational hazard, and the environmental hazard. Very important that you do it the right way.
And I was thinking about doing that, but I figured if I did that, I would be the guy that got caught, and we wouldn't be sitting on this boat talking about it. We'd be sitting somewhere else, and maybe behind bars. It'd be in deep whatever on the Delta. So it's worked out. So guys, that's the program. I will give you all the information and the remarks. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next report.
Thanks, guys.
All right.